and we're going to get into that a little later in the program. That's the real issue. That's that's kind of like keeps the community economically at a disadvantage. So that's why you have a lot of economic disparities and other disparities in the black community is because of the money don't circulate the way that it should in other communities. It's like the Asian community, the white community, Hispanic community, and the black community is the lowest one. I think they said we're gonna get into that a little later. That the money in the black community circulates about 6 hours, and that money is gone. And one of the reasons that they can improve that is number one, yeah, of course, you can shop with black businesses, try to do business with black businesses, spend your money with black businesses to try to keep the money circulating. Or you can have more banks. And as I just said, we only have one bank, one black bank in the city of Milwaukee, in the whole state of Wisconsin, and that's a excellent source of how money can circulate in the community and how communities can build wealth. So I would really admonish anyone that desire to be a part of wealth production in the black community in the city of Milwaukee is if you don't have an account at Columbia Savings and Loan, go down there and talk about it. Talk to someone at the bank, attorney players. Talk to her or someone else at the bank, and they can show you what you need to do in order to start to start your account. And I tell you right now, if we do that as a community, we can begin, listeners, to change the economic imprint of Milwaukee's black community by really getting involved, opening up accounts with the only black bank in the city of Milwaukee. And I have a guest with me today, Pastor Lewis. He just came in, my good friend, and he's doing a lot of good work in this community with some economic issues, with housing and other things that he's doing in the community. So he's going to elaborate on some of the things that I began to talk about. So basically, the topics that centers around today is the power of the black dollar. How does that sound, Pastor Lewis? The power of the black dollar. The black dollar. I just said earlier before you came in, I said the spending power of black people in this nation, Pastor Lewis, is almost $1.8 trillion in 2024.
So that would
that's a whole lot of money.
That would make us the 29th.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at that right here. So they got one right here. We got about 20 nations with the gross national products in trillion. Switzerland, it got now Saudi Arabia is 1 point some trillion. Switzerland is 899 billion.
Huh?
The Netherlands is 1.1 over 1.1 trillion. So black folks, man, we are right up there. If you would just isolate us and set us aside and say, this is how much how much wealth this nation have, is over almost 1.8 trillion. But the drawback.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's what it said. I'm looking at the numbers here because when they started, number one is the country, United States, is 29 trillion.
Wow.
And then China is right behind us, is 17 trillion. And then it goes down from there. Germany, Japan, India, United Kingdom, and all of that. But but here's our problem, Pastor, is that the money don't circulate.
Yeah,
in the
community like 5 minutes.
They said, I was looking at something, they said the money stay in the community about 6 hours.
6 hours.
And then the money, think about that now.
Yeah.
As
opposed to money staying in other communities.
Yeah. For example, the Asian community, the money might hang around 30 days.
30 days. So that means that they
Jewish community might hang around 20 days.
And they take care of each other. And they spend with each other. And see, but that's what we don't do. We don't spend with each other. See, and those other, pockets of people, they hire each other for work and so on. And if the work is not done well, they'll give you another chance to get it done.
Yeah.
But when we get somebody to come over and the work ain't done well, the first thing we say is, "Man, I ain't hiring no more."
I mean, you do.
I'm telling you,
you do houses, man. You did almost 60 houses. Is it 60 houses? Almost 60
and I keep on hiring black folks.
Keep on hiring black folks
if they want to come and work, man. But I ain't mad at nobody because you make a mistake or two. Because as a matter of fact, I had a contractor, and he wasn't asking for enough money. And I told him, I said, man, you ain't asking for enough money. That's why you don't want to finish any work.
Wow.
You got to ask for enough money. So I made a deal with him, and I paid him enough money, and he finished the whole house.
Man, that's interesting right there, man, because he's not asking for enough money because he don't want to do the job.
No, he didn't ask for enough money because he wanted the job. He wanted to underbid other people.
Okay.
I said, man, come on, man, because I knew, because we've been doing this, we like on our 60 or something house, man. I knew that, if I don't pay this guy enough, first of all, he ain't going to be able to finish because he ain't got enough workers.
The work is not going to be good.
No, and then the workers ain't going to be getting paid, and he going to have to be trying to do it by himself. That's first of all. And then second of all, you get what you pay for. If you don't pay somebody enough, they're going to give you what you pay for. And that's just a given, man. I don't care what they say. I'm going to take care of you, man. No, we're going to take care of each other.
Yeah.
That's what's got to happen, man. And that's how we got to do business with one another. No, I ain't going to try to cheap you out. Some people just try to cheap you out, man.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay you enough for that. And that's how, we got to get past that and have quality goods created in our community, like housing and that kind of thing. I had a lady who, we sold a house, and, and she wasn't, to be honest, one house, she wasn't really satisfied because she was a new buyer. She didn't understand you got to take care of your own house and that kind of stuff. So she called me. She said, this, that. I said, listen, I tell you what, I'm going to help you out. So, I said, man, I'm going to go in, I'm going to spend another $4,000 or $5,000. But when I get done, you're a homeowner. You got to take care of your own stuff. See, what the point I'm trying to make is this. When you become a homeowner, you can't call the landlord.
Nope,
you got to get your own stuff fixed. You got to get your own
roof, whatever it needs
if you
to be
want
taken care of.
Changes in your house, you got to pay for it. See, that kind of stuff. But, but until we really learn, I think we need to work with one another. And that's what, we're willing to do with our Pastors United Home, buyer program. We're willing to work with people. And, because, once you get on the market, you sell a house, it's an open market. Whoever come in there and see that house, they make a deal.
Yeah.
You want to buy this house or not? Then they have it, they have it looked at by a professional, and then you bargain about, okay, fix this, fix that, okay, cool. Right. Then fix everything, blah, blah, blah. But once you get in that house, that's your house.
That's your house.
You can't, and people, that's why we need to have classes. We need to have these sessions about housing. We need to let people know what a homeowner does. Man, you got to cut your own grass, cut your own trees, got to shovel your own snow. You got to fix your own lights. You got to do all that kind of stuff when you're a homeowner. And it's much different than when you are a renter. If that heat go out, you got to buy another heating unit. You got to buy another furnace. So that means that you always got to have some money or credit so that you can, take care of business when that.
And that's another component too. Is this? I remember when we first started with with Pastor United, the home building and renovation. You work with credit. You actually help people look at credit, understand credit, and see how important it is to have good credit always, and especially when you're in the market trying to purchase a big item,
and
car, house, whatever. We still do that.
We still do that, because one day I met this young genius, man. He was Darvin Moore, And and he was,
I remember
sitting
him.
in there and wasn't nobody hardly listening to him. But I was like, man, so
talking about some good stuff.
I looked for him for about a year. I couldn't find him. Then I finally found him. And then he came over. He trained like, man, we had about 30 churches.
And a whole bunch of churches
met
at those meetings.
Pastor Washington.
Yeah, right up here when he's up here
church.
on Greater Spring Hill.
And he trained how to take care of your.
How much did you charge for that training that he was giving?
Huh?
How much did you charge the pastors and people that was in that training? How much did you charge him? Did you charge him anything?
No,
or was that free?
Man, we did that for our community.
Yeah.
And
you don't find too many people doing stuff like that, man. Trying to get your credit right.
But
that's
what
a big
I found out? Other people was charging, and we was doing it free, and people wouldn't even come in. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
That don't make no sense to me. So I told my wife, I said, we got to charge them, then they'll come. We
sometimes you
charge
them
them $300 a month.
Yeah, they'll come. They'll show up then, won't they?
So
But I remember that training, man. That was really good training.
We still do that, and that's when my credit got up to 757, man, and that kind of thing started happening even with me, because at first, man, my credit had never been more than like 550 or something like that. Man, every time you go try to buy a car, you got to get a cosigner and all that kind of stuff. Or your credit was so low that you had to pay a really rate of interest, a high rate of interest. And all that kind of stopped once we started training with that, credit restoration. I don't know, sometimes, we shoot our own selves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is put forth a little effort. And we could do a whole lot. Like you said, we got 1.8 trillion.
Trillion, man.
Man, people can't even count to a trillion. You know what a trillion is?
Oh, that's a whole bunch of money. And
no, that's 12 zeros.
I know.
That a trillion?
I know.
I'm like, man, come on, man. That's our spending power. And we still running around here suffering like we don't have anything.
And it goes back to money circulation.
And it goes back to administrating and managing too.
Right.
And understanding and prioritizing. See, because, trying to keep up with the Joneses just ain't going to get it. I remember, I went and visited Los Angeles, and I went to Beverly Hills, and I saw those houses. Even the police station looked like it was a mansion. I looked at them houses. You ride by the store, Rodeo Drive, and people was guarding the door. I'm like, I looked at my wife. I said, we poor. No, it's a reality, man.
It is.
I said, we poor, baby. And
a lot of them big houses right now, man, they are being fire is just destroying. That's
I think that insurance gonna take care of that business, man. Did they? They canceled their insurance?
Man, they canceled over 30,000 people insurance before the fire happened. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's wrong right there. Yeah. See, that's where insurance companies fund.
So they all what they saying now that wasn't no accident. Yeah. It was like a intentional.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. They canceled. It was about. Yeah. So
they're supposed to be building a new city.
Yeah, they're supposed to be building a new city. He actually said in the interview, I can pull it up and show you when we go on break. He was saying that this could possibly be a blessing because now they can build a new city.
Wow!
But they had canceled over 30,000 some people.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. I heard a little bit about that.
They
too.
Canceled it.
Yeah.
So that just go along. They even blaming that on Diddy, right?
That part, right?
That part.
That
like, man,
now they can't get him on that because they won't let him out. See, they won't let him out.
He did it because he didn't want them to investigate his house. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know, man. I guess one of these days we'll know what happened. But we still don't know who killed Kennedy. So
that part. Come on, man.
They won't even tell us that. I said that'd be nice to understand what happened there.
So Pastor, what you're saying is, so in all those houses that you rehabbed and put families in, now they are homeowners.
They homeowners.
60-some.
Yeah, homeowners since 2015. I mean, it ain't like a whole lot, but we
But
ain't
it's
have
60 houses.
we
You
ain't
didn't
have
have the
no
money.
money either.
Didn't have any place to go to get
And we wouldn't even get no money until we went to
Columbia Savings.
Columbia Savings and Loan.
See, that's what.
And I pleaded my case, and back then, Mr. Gary, he trusted me to take care of business because we had already had a track record of finishing and selling homes, and he gave me a chance, man, and that's how we.
That's the same way he did me.
You know, because before that, you know, we was giving people 50% on a dollar to loan us money.
Wow.
So that means we didn't make any money. We just finished the house, and then, you know, the people lived in it. But we, so, you know, I was kind of tired of that. I'm like, because we still had to, you know, survive as an organization. And, you know, and when COVID hit, we couldn't even have that banquet every year to raise money, you know.
I remember those.
And that wasn't much money. You know, I'm telling you, man, we only raised
you don't make
like
much
about
money with a banquet.
$6,500 at
no
that
money.
banquet or something. That ain't no money. And we had to make that last a whole year. People don't know what it takes, you know, to continue an organization and have it all, you know, ignited with volunteers.
Well, we're getting ready to take a break, and listen, we're getting ready to take a break, and right after the break, we're going to continue the conversation, and you can give us a call at 414-444-5250. Money Talk.
Clothing item that you want?
My special guest is Pastor Greg Lewis. He's the president of Pastors United, and he does a lot of work in the community in the city of Milwaukee with housing. And as we before the break, we was talking about the money he's put into the houses and some of the issues that come with that. So, Pastor, you look at all of the money that really, when you look at the 1.8 trillion
I
dollars.
can't believe that.
Yeah,
1.8
I'm looking
trillion.
at it, man. And look at that. Some of the statistics say if it keep on growing by 2030, it'll be almost 2 to 3 trillion. So black people have money, but it's the circulation of that money and how we think about that money. It's just like we got one black bank in the city of Milwaukee. Right on the corner of 20th and down on 20th and Fond du Lac, Columbia Savings and Loan. And the last thing that bank should really be struggling to have is core depositors. Because once you get involved in the bank, once you put your money in the bank, you trust the bank. The most important thing somebody can have, man, is have a good relationship with a bank that understand and know them by name. Like you just said, when you was getting started, that's what you didn't have. So you had to pay people 50 cents on the dollar or something.
If somebody lent me $1,000, I had to pay them back $1,500.
So when you finally got a relationship with Columbia Savings and Loan, all of that changed.
Yeah,
you was able to.
I just paid like the
whatever
6-7% interest.
Yeah, and get the same. So that's the value, man, of utilizing the power of the black dollar. Yeah, we can shop with black businesses and things like that, but they need to go a little bit further than that. You get banks, they just got one. Just think if they had other. I remember in this community when they had more than one black bank.
Man, but we got to do things together too, Pastor. I mean, it's got to be intentional, to work together as a community.
Yeah.
And, they say if you don't have water, if you don't have banks, and if you don't have utilities, those sorts of things, you don't really have a community, man. I mean, if you ain't control of those things, and it seems as though we have enough people to organize ourselves in a way so that we could control those situations, but we just don't work together. Milwaukee, I think is a very talented town. I just don't think we work together.
Yeah.
And then people don't think it's talented because you don't see the results of your talent. It's wasted talent if you don't work together. It really is. And it's sad because now we're coming into a time where you better be ready to work together because it's going to be hard. Because I was talking to a guy the other day. He said he went into a bank, a U.S. bank or something like that, and the security guard was standing there and he asked the security guard a question. And the dude said that the guard told him, "Shut up, stupid." How you can't talk to a customer that way? Yeah. But racism is still something that people believe, and it's stupid. Man, racism is that's old. Man, if you believe in racism now today, you dumb, stupid, and ignorant. You got to know that just because a person is a certain color don't make him less or more than anybody. I mean, if you don't know that by now, it's 2025. And if you can't understand that now, I don't know how to help these people, man. That, and it's prevalent and it's getting worse. And it's going to be, more of an outspoken agenda now that, we have this person about to be in charge of the United States of America, which is, like you said, $29 trillion.
29 trillion. That's his gross national product.
Yeah, 29
trillion. And black folks is over 1 point.
I have to see.
Staggering, man.
How do you determine that? I mean, I have to, but they say that, 53206, the spending power and just supposed to be the most poorest zip code in the country. Yeah, what they say is worth, the spending power is like 30.
Yeah, quite a bit though. It's millions.
$30 million a year. I mean,
See, black people spend money. It's just you can look out this window here and see all of these little businesses around here, service station, and a lot of these service stations. A lot of these service stations have the highest.
We just save 10% of our money, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then do something with it. Do something constructive with it. Like you talked about the unity.
Yeah, that means we'd have to trust each other.
Yeah, you have to. And it's the same thing with
maybe young people will start trusting each other.
Yeah, well,
they don't trust us.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it. So the survival of the community is really in the hand of the millennials or whatever comes after millennials.
Man, those young people are very, very bright.
Yeah,
I don't know what other people think, but I just think they're so smart, man. And you know, I don't think anything they do is by chance.
Yeah.
I think it's all planned out. I think they talk about it. And they have conversations to work together on certain things.
But if you look at,
you just got to get folks to work together on something that would possibly build up, you know, our communities. That's all. But I think they are bright. I think we got a bright future with our young folks. But you know, we just have to. I think we have to gain the trust and respect from these young people again. I don't know how we do it, but we got to try to do that.
I can tell you that, Pastor. I can tell you exactly.
Tell me
where it starts. Nobody respects anything you say if they don't know how much you care.
Yeah.
So you have to build a relationship with these guys, because again, a lot of these, and I'm not saying you guys, but from my experience, a lot of these preachers and pastors, they look at the young man and shake their head and be like, "That's a shame. His pants down to his ankles and he wearing his hat like that. He looked like this." Instead of going up to this young man and embracing this young man and showing him love, and then after, when you will him in, then you can have a conversation about how you look and all that other stuff. But out the gate, you shouldn't be and this and that. You ain't gonna draw nobody.
No,
you wouldn't do it.
I think you're absolutely right, man.
I think you're good.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely. Well, even the Bible talk about that
with love and kindness.
Yeah, have I draw? But I, you know, I think we have to, you know, continue to build a relationship with the higher power too.
Oh yeah.
You know, for me, it's Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
It's God.
Yes,
for
sir.
me. And then once you get closer to Him, He'll lead you into doing what you need to do to be successful.
Exactly, man. Because your mindset is not carnal now.
Right.
Now your mindset is spiritual.
Yeah.
And by it being spiritual, then you would operate in the spiritual realm.
You would operate in the spirit of God.
Yeah,
right. So, you know, all of that. So I remember when I was a young person, I had to go to church.
Yeah.
You know, if my mother didn't go because she worked.
I'm going.
You know, but she makes sure, get your clothes on because you going. Then we walk to church. People don't walk to church no more.
Yeah.
Don't nobody go to church where they live.
You know, I always tell people that even like Milwaukee,
have some place to park.
Milwaukee is you know, Milwaukee is not really a church town. You know, Milwaukee has you know, every city has a spirit. And if you look at the historical background of how Milwaukee grew, I read this one book called "The Making of Milwaukee."
Yeah,
and how it grew and all of the rebellion and the that took place and the progress of this city that helped determine the type of spirit that this city had.
But you're talking about days when people owned their homes, they had good paying jobs, families were together. All those things were happening. Right now, it's kind of all that's been dismantled.
Yeah.
You know, the family structure is just totally dysfunctional.
Yeah.
You know, there are some families that are together. Don't get me wrong, please. Don't call in saying, "Man, no, I ain't saying everybody. I'm just saying for the most part, you know, these families are really broken up, and women are raising boys.
Yeah, because you know, like you say, you know, you talk about family and finances and really getting it together. You know, when you got the woman that 70, what is it? The black family is what that's 72% are single parent homes. You know, really, why they just have women that are trying to run the house, be the man and the woman too at the same time, and 28% of the homes. You know, so it's kind of tough to have a good account like that.
It is.
You know?
I mean, and you got to have some structure, man. Families are important.
We have a caller? Go ahead, caller. You on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, Pastor, and then a gentleman from the bank as well. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Rideout. Good morning, Mr. Carvey.
Good morning, there, sir.
Good
Yes, thank
morning.
you. Tyrone W. speaking. Good morning, Milwaukee. Glad to be in the presence of all of you. Attorney Coral, get well soon, dear. Your sweet voice is truly missed.
She's doing well. I'm just sitting in for today. She's not
Okay,
sick.
that's
I'm
fine.
just
All
sitting
right.
in.
Well,
Okay.
drink some tea with some lemon in it. It's good for you.
She's doing fine.
I do it every day.
Okay, how you doing?
Cocoa tea or one of them, or sometimes both. Cocoa, all of that stuff. I'm drinking it when it's cold outside. All right. Well, anyway, thank you. It's always good to hear her. But yeah, thank you for letting us know she's doing well, and I hope she's listening to where she can know that people care about her all over the place. But yeah, trust is a big word. But I mean, and I don't want to put this. It's any entity, and I'm not putting this on you all because you all are part of us as well. But I want to drop back out to California, LA, and it's hard to trust somebody when people have been giving you your money all this while talking about insurance.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if the people in Washington D.C. care in doing any kind of regulating, and the banks have any kind of say so. At what point do the banks and people in Washington D.C. and some of the judges too, what's the highest court, the Supreme Court, got to step in and say, well, no, you can't pump and dump, you can't suck the money out of all the people here. Renege on, cancel out like they've done out there, leave the people high and dry. So, at what is there a point where the banks come in and say, "Well, we can't accept your money no more because you're fraud, it's thievery, it's theft, you're plain flat out stealing, and we can't let you house your money here no more as an insurance company, and we're breaking bonds with you." And I'll listen to you over the air, but let us know if there's any connection with you or any of the banks, having nothing to do with scandalous and fraudulent insurance companies. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I know. Hey,
The insurance
thank you for
companies
calling.
got too much money to be fooling
Yeah,
with
I
them.
know that's right.
No, really, they do. I mean, and that's a problem. But he makes a valid point. Is that criminal?
Yeah. Well, I think
But-
if think about this now.
Is it? Did anybody hear if that was criminal that they dropped all those?
Yeah, well,
you just can't cancel people for no reason.
what I heard
you
was
gotta have a reason to cancel someone.
what I heard was that the DOJ is supposed to step in and help out and reverse those and hold the insurance company to the policy, but they haven't said anything else. Since it was released.
Because
But, yeah.
insurance is a contract.
Exactly.
If you got a contract,
Exactly, it's a contract.
you just can't cancel the contract. And both of you signed it, it's a contract. So I don't I don't understand how they could
But
do that.
but you better read the fine.
Yeah,
print.
you have
Yeah,
to say
but
read the
still.
fine print because
it's you read the fine print, but it's still a contract.
well, if they consider it an act of God, they don't cover it. So if it's considered act of God, so if the wind take it and blow it, and it catch on fire over there.
But then I think when you look at fire, what was the original origin of the fire?
Yeah.
Did it start by itself? Most fires
They
don't
don't
do
never
that.
start by themselves.
So I was a firefighter, so I know that. Some things, if you got a house fire, and I know unless there's some electrical going on,
Exactly.
and they can determine that. See,
Exactly.
and then, but just stuff just start burning in the corner by it.
It don't happen.
So I think that's what you really have to look at.
Yeah.
You have to look at that. How can they just break this contract?
Yeah.
And get out of it?
And how
without
can people,
paying?
And how can people all
You
over
got to
the
pay,
world,
man.
Yeah.
And how can people all over the world trust insurance companies
that do something like that?
Yeah, if that's what they can do, I mean,
right?
Because you pay a premium.
Yeah.
For that coverage, man.
Yeah, you're paying a premium. But here's what they can do. Like at my church, we've had. See, sometimes things happen in church, stuff like that happens, and then you can have a fire, like electrical stuff. And they come and say, "Okay, electrical fire."
Yeah.
He didn't start the fire,
right.
So if the pastor didn't start, if somebody in the church didn't start it, then they have to pay.
Yeah.
But you can pay. They can pay out so many times, and then they'll just cancel it.
Yeah.
And then that's really bad. But it's got to be something that they say, well, this guy had 2 or 3 fires in his building, so now in his church, so now Church Mutual or Brother or whoever you're looking at, they say, well, okay, we don't want to have him anymore.
So they
and
drop
they
you
can
as
drop
a client.
Yeah, they can drop you as a client.
But I'm just trying to figure out how you drop 30,000 people
30,000.
before the fire happened.
Yeah, you can't. I personally, I don't know how they did it, and from what I know about insurance, they can't do that.
But what he asked the question: Would banks stop accepting
The insurance people's money?
Yeah, the investments of insurance?
Never.
Well,
That's
yeah,
it kinda,
if one is crooked, that don't mean the other one is like that, right? Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's a real.
it is. It's a real.
That's a
a
real question.
And this is something that, like you say, I think a lot of this stuff that what we're talking about, money and
Because who can hold them responsible is
Right.
what he's asking. Can you hold these people responsible?
that's why you have an attorney general in the United States.
Man,
That's why you have right
it's
because
still
these
hard
people.
for me to believe
people
that
are-
they dropped 30,000 people.
But I think they said I heard that. I didn't hear the whole story. I think they did say that they was dropping people. But they got that. They better have you better have a good reason to do it.
But I just don't understand with these fires, even though with the flood, how the loopholes and the verbiage is what get people. Because if your stuff is damaged, and it's your property is damaged from this stuff, and you got insurance to cover you, I don't see how they can now say, after you've been paying into your premium all this time,
Right.
where is the equity that's built up in this insurance that I'm paying you? Where is the? Because if I've been paying this insurance policy for years, and then finally I get hit with a fire, and then you cancel, say you ain't gonna cover it,
That's
huh?
a serious trust issue.
So that means that you've been robbing me all this time. I just been giving you money for nothing.
I think that there's clauses in there. I know every time we had some things happen at our church, and with the insurance and the the only time that that I know that they would you're dealing with it is that if you have stuff that some of the same things been happening too many times over and over again, and then they'll look at it and then they'll say, well, okay, we don't want to deal with it. Now, most people do it like that, but just come out and say,
right.
But the other question is,
I'm not going to insure you.
Will banks lend people money to rebuild their homes?
Right.
I mean, wow, this a lot, man. Finance is something else. And speaking of that, housing here in Milwaukee, is really seriously
diminished.
at a low, especially in black communities. We're the worst city, the worst metropolitan area in the country when it comes to black housing, black ownership of houses.
So that's a great opportunity there to have good. So one of the problems
And what I was going to say, just hold your thought. What I was going to say is that so we are trying to get WIDA to put money in a program that would first educate people on owning homes, and then secondly help to build up structures for family units. And the need in Wisconsin is like 35,000 low income family units, 35,000, and 10,000 one family homes. And I just want people to know that we're working on asking our state, especially the entity called WIDA, to invest in this state and help to resolve that issue of that needing 35,000, low income homes and 10,000 one family homes. And they could do it, but we got to kind of push them into doing it. And I just want to let people know that it's going to be something that I'm certainly going to be asking them to get involved with, because we ain't talking about just Milwaukee, we're talking about all of Wisconsin. And Milwaukee is probably the most needed for the homes and home ownership in this whole state, but you still got Kenosha, you got Racine, probably their home ownership is low in black communities too. But in order for us to really push for somebody to spend 2.5 billion, 1.5 billion. People are going to have to get involved,
Right.
because
right.
we're certainly capable of having that done. But people got to push. You got to make people who you put in positions of power. You got to make them do what you need them to do, and we're going to be coming to ask these people to help us. How can I say it? Help us convince these folks that they need to do something about this housing issue, and they have the capability of doing it. Now, why don't you do it? We're going to be doing that. So I just want to give everybody a heads up who's listening that we really are working on that very hard right now.
Then you're going to have to need a good bank to work with in order to make a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
Columbia Saving Loans at that bank, right?
Yeah, can they handle that 2.5 billion?
I don't know. Well, they can have some of it. Pastor, we're talking about money circulation. We're talking about money circulation. I got a little something I just want to read, make sure we kind of right about money. What is money circulation? It says money.
You're supposed to say, they can handle it.
Yeah,
man.
they can handle it. They can handle it. Yeah, they can handle it. Money circulation is a currency that is physically used to conduct transactions between consumers and businesses. Plus money that is stored in banking institutions. Money circulation is critical to a community, what we're talking about, communities' potential for economic mobility. More money in circulation mean higher financial stability and potential for economic growth in that neighborhood or in neighborhoods or in the city. And he said, a study by the Selig Center for Economic Growth found that money circulates. Listen to this, Pastor. We said one time in African American community, one time, the dollar is there 6 hours, one time, whatever, it's gone.
So what that means? It go to the store, and then the store go to Waukesha.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
One time in the African American community, and then in the Latino community, 6 times in the Latino community. That's how the money stays around at least 6 times.
And you know what? You can see, like, if you go on National Avenue, there's a lot of small businesses.
Yeah.
You can see how
the money
it could circulate. But here we don't hardly have any businesses.
Nothing. And then I remember, back in the 70s and 80s, that was a lot more black businesses that we have in this city now. Even banks, 2 or 3. Yep. North Milwaukee State Bank, the bank right across from the one at Columbia Savings and Loan. They were there.
Man, I don't know why people don't start their own businesses.
Yeah. Getting accessing capital.
Man, you know what? Hey, listen.
That's a big reason.
You can start a business, you can start organizations, look, but we did Pass United, then we did Souls to the Polls, and then we did Power to the Polls.
Yeah.
It was just, something that we decided to just work on together. I mean, all we had to do was call the state, get a state identification number, and just ask them, could you own a business? Ask them, can I own this business? They said yes. Gave us the opportunity to own our own businesses, and people can do that, man. I think everybody should have one business that they own. Just call the state, man. You make pillowcases, man. Get a pillowcase.
Yeah. Be surprised when
just get you a business, man. You want to teach somebody how to play the piano?
Right.
Make it a business, man.
I did.
That's all I'm saying. Look, he did.
Yeah.
We just, man, listen, there's 2 things we're afraid of as black folks, man. We're afraid of money, and we're afraid of power. But we always talking about both.
And then when you got your money thing right, then you got your power thing.
No, did you hear what I said? We're always bragging about,
I hear what you said.
Wielding both, but we,
afraid of it.
Because somewhere we've been convinced that it's something bad. Having money is bad, huh?
That's a mindset. You got to change that mindset.
Man, I don't mind having money with the prices.
It's mindset. You got to change that mindset.
I don't mind having money with the prices the way they are right now.
Right. And a good place to put it.
I don't mind having a way to pay for my bills, pay for a mortgage, pay for insurance, pay for that without struggling. I don't mind that. So
being able to go to an institution.
It's necessary.
Yeah. Okay, it's time for us to take a break. So we're going to take a break. This is Money Talks. I'm Pastor Mose Fuller, sitting in for Attorney Cora Players. We'll be right back.
Nicavani's is the only place you need to shop for fashionable menswear inside the Mayfair.
Once again, listeners, I'm Pastor Mose Fuller, St. Timothy Baptist Church. Monday Talks, and my guest today is Pastor Greg Lewis. He is the the president of Pastors United, and I'm setting in for Attorney Cora Players. Money Talks. So let's continue, Pastor, looking with how they're talking about money circulation, which leads right into the economic stuff we're talking about and all of the money issues that we're talking about. And we said in the Latino community, money circulates 6 times, and the Asian community hangs around 9 times. 9 times in the Asian community. And look what it says.
And the Jewish community is what?
Yeah, same thing about it. Same thing, basically the same thing.
Really?
It says in white community, in white neighborhoods. Now, I don't know about this. Money circulates nearly an unlimited number of times in part. This explains the wealth gap for black communities, the way the money circulates. And the Jewish community and the Asian community, I think the Asian community is one of the highest ones that it circulates, but in the Jewish community, it also has a high circulation.
Yeah, I think it's like 15. Circulates 15 times.
It does. There's different. Well, let me see what it says here. It says compared to black dollars circulate much shorter in other communities, such as 28 days in the Asian community, and then it got 28 days there, and then in other places it has 19 days in Jewish community and 17 days in white community.
So that Asian community is really tight. They spend money with each other and probably exclusively.
Yeah. And if you look at it, because if you want to buy Asian, if you're an Asian, you want to buy Asian food, they got those Asian markets.
That's kind of sneaky, ain't it?
Well, I mean,
they're running around here holding all the money
and you see,
for a long time.
You can't buy. If you want to go shopping, think about what I'm really saying, Pastor. If you want to go shopping and buying, if you have your diet consists of really eating the way you did in your country, and you want to buy that type of food, they have a store that specifically caters to that where you're going. In black community, they got stores on almost every corner.
I went to Samuel Morris. Now it's a Hmong school.
Yeah.
You went to Moore? See, that's
It's
why
a Hmong
that's
school.
why he's so bright. He had gifted and talented. Yeah, I would say. And then they got a store down the street that used to
Yeah.
be Cole's. That's a Hmong store.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I mean,
So it's the money, man.
man,
It's
you
your
got to
mindset
almost
about,
laugh to keep from crying
Really?
because we got all this talent and ability,
and all
and
not
we
all
won't
this
even
talent
take advantage
and all
of
this
it.
money. All this talent
Man,
and all this money. And look at and we got one bank that's begging for folks in the sense that, look, come on here and get here and really make some things happen. Because if you I know, like with our church when we started, you said that when you got started, how Columbia Savings and Loan, when Mr. Gary was there, he took a chance on you. He took a chance on me.
Right.
We was out here, Doc. We was out here 4 years, not even 4 years, and but we had the money though. Some banks you can have the money, and you can have good credit, have the money, the down payment, and everything, and they still won't go with you.
Right.
I mean, I was involved in a lawsuit like that. Honda, we used to buy Hondas, and had good credit, went there, and they really, here's what they did. They found out, man, that the Honda Corporation, Honda Financial, were charging blacks and Hispanics more money to finance the car than were charging white folks.
Really?
Yeah, man. And I didn't get much money, but we got a settlement.
Crazy.
But that's what happens. So that's why it's always so important, listeners, to have a good financial institution in your community that you can identify with, that you can relate to,
Wow.
that can help you access capital. And that place in the city of Milwaukee is Columbia Savings and Loan.
Yeah, man. Wow.
It was a blessing to you, wasn't it?
See, huh?
It was a blessing to you,
yeah,
wasn't it?
huge blessing, man. You know how hard it was to just see all the money just go somewhere else, and you know it didn't have to be if you had, ways to prevent it. Man, that was tough, But and then we was using after we got people credit, we was using credit cards to do the work.
That had to be kind of expensive, wasn't it?
No, and then and the city said it wasn't secured money, so they stopped us from doing that. We was doing houses like crazy. They didn't even know we had finished them. But those people was taking their money after we get their credit, man. They'd have like about $50,000-$60,000 in credit, and then we said, man, we're gonna do the house. We're gonna sell you the house. You could take that and get 80% of what that house is worth. So they ended up getting money in the bank. So you buy a house, then you get a mortgage, then you got about $20,000 in your bank account. Man, it was like terrific, and the city told us that we had to stop doing it.
So let me say this real quick.
Yes.
So people just called the front desk. I guess they've been trying to call, but the lines is not lighting up over here. But they was asking the question, do we have any black roofers? Because they want to, I guess, give to the black community, and they want to sow, I guess, money into the black roofers and people like that. So I guess if y'all can address that and have them to call.
Yeah.
Because we actually running out of time, but we out of time right now.
So
but
black roofers, yeah. One day for my church, there's one black roofer that I use all the time. He's right on the corner of 18th and Hampton.
Yeah.
18th and Hampton.
So they want some black roofers.
Yeah, and he did a great job for me. I've had 2 or 3 roofs put on my church over there.
Go, man.
He did a great job. So just go. I don't have the number right offhand. If I can get to it before we just about getting ready to go off there, right? Yeah, we getting ready to go off there. I don't know if I can get to it before then.
They can, if you can get the information, you can leave it.
Right, I leave it at the front desk, and you can get it from there. But I'm telling you right now, he's a guy that I trust. He did Lewis. He put 3 roofs on my church. Wow. I've been there almost 30 years, and he put 3 roofs on there, and they just put one on there not too long ago, about 5 years ago, and it's working. So he's a good roofer. Well, we out of time, right? Listeners, I'm Pastor Mose, full of St. Timothy Baptist Church. My guest has been a great friend, Pastor Greg Lewis. He's president of Pastors United. This has been Money Talks. I'm sitting in today for Attorney Cora Players. She'll be back next week. See you next week. God bless you.
860 AM, 106.5 FM. WNOV, the voice